I used to live in a small town in Wisconsin, and I was only 12 at the time. It was a cold, wintry day with 3 feet of snow covering everything. My neighbor and I were hitting the deer trails, trying to take a shortcut to our other friend's house. It would be like 10 miles by road, but more like 2 miles if we just cut through the deep woods. We got to a fork and sort of lost our way. My buddy wanted to go left and I wanted to go right. After going down the one trail for what must have been like at least half an hour, we decided it was too far east and decided to go back to the fork. We finally got back to where the trail splits and noticed that there were some odd-shaped footprints going the direction that we were going to go. They had obviously followed our path from our neighborhood, but at the fork went the other way instead. Well, being the curious kids we were, we continued on the new trail, following the weird trail of footprints. They looked like a human foot, sort of, but pretty small, and it took big strides. We got about 10 minutes down the trail when all of a sudden the prints completely stopped. They just stopped right in the middle of nothing. We looked around for evidence of any kind, but nothing had been disturbed. Not only that, but the tree branches still had a good amount of snow on them. After inspecting the area for a few minutes, a huge gust of wind blows out of nowhere. It was quickly followed by complete silence. I immediately got chills and goosebumps. You could feel the air just stop. No wind, no birds, or anything. Complete stillness. It felt really odd. My buddy and I looked at each other and sort of awkwardly laughed. We both were creeped out. In the forest, there is always sound, but it was as if everything had stopped. We started walking down the trail again. I must have glanced down at my feet for less than a second when I feel my buddy's hand grab me to get my attention. Standing in the middle of the trail was this tall, old, scary-looking figure. His back was turned, and he had no footprints in the snow around him. My buddy yelled out, "Hey, mister, you okay?" The guy didn't budge a muscle or flinch. "You lost?" I asked cautiously, hoping for some kind of reaction. I felt my gut telling me something was terribly off. I told my buddy that we should just leave and go back the way we came, and without hesitation he agrees. We start backing up to turn around and instantly are smacked with a huge gust of cold wind. It was enough to make both of us turn our backs into the gust, facing back towards the guy standing there. I kid you not, the guy was instantly standing arm's length away from us, still with his back turned to us. Again, I hadn't noticed that there was not a single footprint on the ground. My buddy froze, his face pale white. You could tell he was completely horrified. "Get out of here!" I remember yelling as loud as I could. The guy steps forward 1 step and then made the creepiest sound I've ever heard in my entire life. It started off like a laugh, but turned into an insane and terrifying screeching noise. My buddy and I bolted at the exact same moment and headed back the way we came. We both took a few seconds to stop and catch our breaths whenever we could. But no matter how fast or how far we ran, we could still hear this insanely ominous cackling. Luckily, it started to fade as we neared our neighborhood, But regardless, we were scared out of our minds and didn't stop running until we saw my house. We went inside and told my mom. She was 99% sure we were just making it all up. We convinced her to drive us to our friend's house. From there, we had hot cocoa and stayed inside for the remainder of the winter. It was a long while before we went back down those trails. But we never encountered that horrifying and disturbing thing again.